tutorial starts with a song, but it's only a few seconds long. Let's get started with animation. Hi folks, today we're talking a million. In a previous tutorial I demonstrated some of the strengths of the duplicate with transform command, which you activate after normal duplication using the Shift-D shortcut. With this method you can achieve more or less regular structures with ease, many complex elements. The rotating gear here consists of 16, I think, or 16 or 18 duplicates of the word mimicry. I created it in less than a minute. Rendering, of course, took a little bit longer. 16 is a nice number. I could have made 100 duplicates without a problem, but 1,000 would probably drive my 4-year-old PC to its limit. So I started to think even bigger, and what you see here is a box consisting of 1 million cubes. It's not just about a million, it's exactly 1 million polygon cubes. Let me show you the limitations of regular duplications first, and then the beauty of Mesh, which handles 1 million cubes without a problem. So in this new scene I go to polygon modeling and I create a cube. And the cube consists of 6 faces. That makes it a very simple piece of geometry, and that's why it's good for duplication and driving the PC to its limit. By the way, I got a question on Facebook when I posted a teaser photograph of this tutorial, asking me what the purpose of 1 million would be. Well, I'll show you at the very end one of the many purposes of this massive duplication. Anyway, we invoke the duplicate command by Control-D. And now we have 2 cubes, as you can see here, and I move it to the side and I Shift-D, so I get many of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 currently. Now I pick all of them and I duplicate it, Control-D, and I move them to the back. So I have 10, now it's 20. With Shift-D, I can now have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this is 100 cubes, far from 1 million. Now I duplicate them as well. Again, Control-D, and I move them up. Still, Maya performs very nicely. It's very smooth. I can easily navigate the scene. So I have 200 now. Shift-D, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. And is it 1,000? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, one more. So it's 1,000 now. A million consists of many more. So we take this block and we duplicate it, and we move the duplicate over here. So now we have 2,000, and Shift-D, we duplicate it again, and now you see Maya is slowing down. It needs to think, and it's not easy anymore because now we have 5,000 cubes in the scene. 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, and 10,000. Still not even close to 1 million. And you see the system is slowing down. And before I stop this process, let me select them all. Selection already takes some time. And I duplicate this, Control-D, takes even more time. Maya's thinking. If you have a much faster and more current computer, maybe you will do this in less than a second, but here it takes quite a few seconds. Now the duplicate is done. I try to navigate the scene, which is quite problematic now. Trying to rotate the camera around the object. You know, it's starting to stutter, and then I'll move the duplicate over here. And you see it's not workable anymore. It's not the proper approach. And in the task manager, you see that Maya has eaten up 66% of my RAM, and the power consumption is very high. This is a German menu, obviously. And now we're back to the very beginning. Okay, we wanted to create a polygon cube, which is here. Now I use a totally different approach, and I'm going to create so-called instances using the mesh network. And where is a mesh? Well, it's here, or under FX. You find it here, mesh, create mesh network. And if you don't want to use the mesh network menu, you can just click here. You have the cube selected, and now you click here. And this is the frustrating beginning of all mesh operations. It starts to align 10 copies, instances they're called, into one row. Pretty boring. And now starts the fun thing. You go to, in the attribute editor of the mesh node, this one, here's the attribute editor, you have the mesh distribute node. And now we don't want to have a linear distribution, but a grid distribution. These are 9, for example, obviously. In the grid, I can change this to 10 by 10 by 10. And then I have a block which looks like a big cube, but it consists of already 10 by 10 by 10. That's 100, that's 1000 cubes. Very easy. And in order to see them properly, I need to change the distances here. So let's type in 11, 11, and 11. And now you see them properly. Actually not in this direction, because I typed in 30 instead of 10. Okay, now we have 1000. Now we'll go to 100, 100, and 100. It consists of, and that's what we see now, it consists of exactly 100 times 100 times 100 cubes, and that's 1 million. So we just need to change the distance here, and now I give you a hint, which is sort of well, because it needs to think and update the scene, I hide the mesh repro mesh, this object basically. Press H, so I hide it, but I can go back here and type in the distance. And what I'll do is we have a grid size of 100 by 100 by 100. That's why I type in 101. So we have a little bit of distance between the blocks. And I do this with a hidden mesh node, because now I can type in fast here, and now I make this visible again. So I select it here, and now I see black, and I move out, and you see the scene is easy to navigate, and we have exactly 1 million cubes here. I want to show you how versatile mesh is, because from here you can proceed. And what I'll do now as the final experience here is I go back to the basic node, and I create a random distribution, which is here. You click here, and then you move your mouse over here to add a random node, and it will create a random distribution of the cubes, which is currently not random. And you see how fast this works. You see the random distribution now. And of course here you can change the position, the rotation, the scaling, and for example, just to move this up, it takes a while here, because Maya needs to update the scene, but it goes pretty fast. You see now the blocks are not cubes anymore, so they're stretched. When you start working with dynamics, you would go here and then with the mouse over here, add a dynamics node. That would make the whole system dynamic. Try it out. It won't suit your system very well because this is too much calculation. It's basically physics for every single one of these 1 million cubes. But you can easily reduce this and then try to find out what's coming out of it. You go back to the distribute node, and instead of 100, let's type in 40 by 40 by 40. And now we can try to simulate the dynamics. Add a dynamics node, and you see it takes too long. So I abort it, go back here, go to my distribute node, where is it? Right here, and change this to 20 by 20. And now I start working with a simulation. So they fall down, but they have a virtual ground where they should all meet. So this is not real time, but close to real time. So we can see something. 20 by 20 is, it's 8,000 cubes, which is not bad. And when I stop it, I can easily navigate the scene. That's one nice thing, really. If you do this procedure with a very simple geometry in the NURBS world, namely the sphere. The sphere is a very simple, beautiful geometry, actually much simpler than the polygon sphere, which you find here. But you need to load it into Mesh using the instance option. Mesh, create Mesh network, and I just show you the way here. You click on the option box, and here you check instances. With the NURBS sphere, you would use an instance, and the scene would be very heavy and hard to navigate, and that's because Mesh translates the NURBS sphere into a polygon sphere, and the polygon sphere, of course, is very complex. But the structures are very beautiful, and as you can see here, very complex, 1 million spheres. And as to the question, what is this good for? Well, for many, many things. For example, for this horse. Is this a horse? Yes, it is. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.